don't look. I just want you to get your right frame of mind. You know, once long time ago, I was told all is mind, and that could be taken the wrong way, but it's mindset. But you got to get your mind right. And I got a feeling. I have no idea what's going to go on today. We got a feeling it's going to be about your mindset, mind, attitude, and all that. And my father used to always say to me, because like Tuesday and Thursday night, it was my job as a kid to take the garbage out in Australia, put the garbage can out on the street, and it'd be late. He'd be coming home from his night job. He was a builder in the day, taught technical college at night. And I'd hear that car and I'd go, oh, haven't put the garbage bin out. And he'd come walking around the back of the house because I was always out in the barbecue doing my homework. And I would go, I thought, I was going to have an excuse. I thought, and he'd just look at me and go, you know what thought did? And I never got it till I was about 14, right? Thought. You see, thought without action doesn't amount to anything. And it's sort of like knowledge, I suppose. It's the same as knowledge. Without students, knowledge is no good. It's inside your own head. You're not sharing it with anyone. You're not allowing anybody to help, learn, grow. Let me let a whole bunch of new people in here. That's real key. So attach action to your thought, and what will happen? You will learn and grow, and the people around you will learn and grow. For your brand new people, if there are new people, I'm trying to keep up, bring in Gordon Morton's right front center, right there. The guy.
Yes, sir.
Way back, middle of last year, he said he had a great big idea and you need to treat it with respect, with honor, with truth, with trust, and all those things. It started here. He mentioned today. It's also here. So I know you don't need any more, Gordon. Take it away.
You're the best. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it. And I have to point out, man, I'll tell you, when you're on fire, people will come from miles to feel the heat. I just thought this is an interesting thing, Malcolm. You're on an island in the Philippines, a remote island, because I was talking to Larnie today and I go, where does Malcolm live as in relation to Manila? And she's like, give you an idea? I don't even know. So she doesn't, you live on a remote island. And I think that's pretty cute. But you have Dr. Armando de Guzman on the line, and Armando de Guzman, I don't know if you know this, Malcolm, he's a specialist, retired surgeon. So not just a doctor, medical doctor, you got a surgeon. So no pressure, Malcolm. We got to do a good job tonight. I put a little vanilla extract behind my ears, so we'll try to do our best. But thank you, everybody on the line. Sure appreciate you. We got a talented group here tonight. I saw Dwayne. I can't see Dwayne, but I heard that Dwayne is on the line. Apparently, he's wearing sunglasses, according to Ray. I see Ray, and we got some of our corporate crew here. I can see also Patsy, John, but I can see Adam, and I know Ashley somewhere on because I can hear her rumbling over in her office over there. So, welcome everybody. I'll dive right in tonight on this leadership discussion. For those of you who are pretty new to this, Malcolm gave me credit 2 weeks ago about this, but it was really a we discussion. Malcolm and I were solving the problems of the world one Saturday night a couple weeks ago, and we came to the resolution that there's the way that this business works is that you need giant food for giants, and I was fortunate enough to be fed by some wonderful giants in this industry. Dwayne and Ray know the names that I'll drop, but Ken Pontius was one of the greatest mentors I could have ever had. He was as amazing networker as you could imagine. And then people like Doug Weed, former Amway great, and John Gozich, that there's another one, a couple of these names, and Bob Crisp, even I got to be in his energy orbit. And they taught me a lot of amazing principles, and I just function on autopilot. And so when I was talking to Malcolm a couple weeks ago, I said, this is time for us to data dump. So folks, this is pour yourself a beverage here and sit back. We'll do the heavy lifting. And let me start with this one. I just saw a little nod from Malcolm. I've never talked to him about this, but I'll tell you, I don't know what your opinion is about Muhammad Ali. I grew up, I'm so old, look at this white beard. I loved Muhammad Ali. When I was a little kid, I just even loved that song. He had a song. Not only was it great, by the way, if you didn't know he was the greatest fighter in the world, he was about to tell you. He had confidence in spades. People loved him. Some people hated him. But no matter what your opinion, people came for miles. He filled stadiums all over the world. He had a Thrilla in Manila, didn't he? I think he actually had the Thrill in Manila. He would have all over the world fill stadiums, and people came because he was leading. That guy was a leader. He knew what he was. He with the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns. He woke up every day, and he's like, "I'm the greatest fighter that ever lived." That's a horrible impression. Sorry, Malcolm, doing impressions on your calls, but he was a fantastic boxer back in the day. And just telling you, when you're little, you have these people that you admire, and I just always remember him. Man, this guy could command an audience. Every time Muhammad Ali was on an interview, I had to be in front of the TV because he was going to either drop something really funny, or he was going to kind of pick a fight with somebody he was trying to challenge in a fight. It was great. So let's go forward. I just wanted to put that as an example of leadership. We dropped a few rules the last few weeks. I don't say rules. What do we call them? Well, I think we decided we weren't going to call them commandments or suggestions. Let's call them suggestions. People don't like rules, but these are kind of ways that you can build your business. They're kind of a set of rules. I didn't make them. When we get our own planets, we can make our own rules, but these are ones that work in the world of sales. And a good general knows the rules, also knows occasionally you have to break them. But here's the thing, and I said it last week, for every one of these little rules that we talk about tonight, if you choose to break them, you do it at your own peril. It sets your business. You can take a step backwards if you have to break one every once in a while, but we're going to drop some rules. They're just a great way to do business. And I'll give you a new word, sprezzatura. I've mentioned this before. Sprezzatura is one of my favorite Italian words. And it is, you know, all the rules. This is a hard one to define. It's one of these ones, there's no English equivalent. Sprezzatura is, you know the rules, and you're going to purposely break one every once in a while to get some attention. We kind of do it here. I talk about the fact that everybody's supplements come in a plastic container, and we don't do that. Ours comes in a tin container. We break rules. It's a way of doing it. This is a guy, one of the superheroes of business, Gianni Agnelli. And Gianni Agnelli, if you don't know who he is, he's the patriarch behind, well, he's dead now, but the patriarch behind the Fiat empire, Fiat cars. Fiat stands for Fabbrica Italiano Automobile Torino. It's the Torino Motor Company, and he started it, and he ended up becoming this just icon. Like he would hobnob with who did we talk about last week? The Greek shipping Aristotle and Onassis. These are the type of people he'd hobnob with. I'm going to point something out. On his wrist, you'll notice that he wears his wristwatch over top of his sleeve, which is breaking a cardinal rule of fashion. He did it. He was always impeccably dressed. He knew every rule of fashion, and he purposely would break one. And it was his thing. That was his thing. It was his sprezzatura. He wanted people to pay attention that he knew the rules, but he was doing this way. He liked to wear his watch this way, and he decided, this is my sprezzatura. And you'll notice this when you get around the world of Italian businessmen. Sometimes you'll be like, this guy is dressed to the nines in Rome, and for some reason, the front part of his tie is shorter than the back part. You're like, clearly this guy knows what he's doing. He's wearing this impeccably dressed, but it's called sprezzatura. It's a weird thing Italians do. It's one of my favorite rules. One of my favorite things about Italian culture. So let's jump into a few. I'm just going to drop a few things tonight, and hopefully these will help. These calls, by the way, if you commit to these calls, they give you what I call a winner's edge. This was Dwayne, this one's for you. Winner's Edge was the name of a product in Dwayne's company years ago. And it's just that edge. It's a little advantage that you get. It's that little advantage that can actually make you extremely successful. And I put a long sustained sentence here. The cumulative power of a small sustained advantage. That's a horrible sentence. I can't even believe I called this slide that. Let me get to the point of this. That's a picture of my brother Joe on a bike there that you just saw. That's actually him in a competition. Somebody took that picture of him from a moving van. It was one of the chase vehicles, and it ended up in Salt Lake Magazine. And I said to Joe, there's an interesting thing. Joe's wearing in that shot, if you go forward one, he's actually wearing in that photo earbuds. And I remember him telling me he was excited because he got to wear earbuds in that event because it was a straight bike route. By the way, that race that he was in, he told me today, was a race from Salt Lake City to St. George, Utah. That's my brother's idea of a good time. Okay. We're very different in that regard. That's like what, 4 or 5 hours locals here? Dwayne, what is that? You just drove
Yeah,
it.
I'm driving it now.
Yeah, I don't want to bike it. Joe does for kicks sometimes, I guess. So that headphones that he's wearing in that shot is because he's in a bike race. But he said Joe's an Ironman and he can't wear. If you're actually trying to compete in an Ironman to stat out your a record, if you're trying to actually be timed in it, you're not allowed to wear earphones. And I was like, why is that? And he's like, it's an advantage. It's considered a slight advantage. It could be the difference between a world record and a also ran. So the small advantage. Now, why is all the things we're talking about here, each one of these things we'll drop tonight will be a small advantage that it will give you over competitors actually in your life. These are just good life rules in some cases. Let's go forward one, please, Adam, or whoever's driving the slide deck. This is a weird thing. I just mentioned St. George, which is the next town after that, big one, I guess, would be, Mesquite, and then Las Vegas. I don't know if anybody on the line's been to Las Vegas. It's a crazy town. Vegas has, casinos have rules, and one of the rules are, it's called the house rules. House rules are that the house always wins. In the long run, they always win. By the way, gambling is a horrible way to it's a horrible way to financial plan or anything like this. My mentor, one of the guys I mentioned, Ken Pontius, he loved to gamble. Interestingly, people would say that guy made so much money, man, he was lucky. I'm like, no, Dwayne knows this for a fact. Ken would go to Vegas about, I don't know, every couple months and bet on American football. You know this, Dwayne, right? That was Ken's Achilles heel. And we know how Ken was horribly unlucky. Even an unlucky person can occasionally win betting on American football, but Ken would lose a lot of money. And I bring that up for a reason. Vegas wins. They always win. And you think, oh yeah, they have an outrageous advantage. No, they don't. Actually, do you know the chances of winning are about 47% chance of winning on an average game that you're playing in Vegas? If you're playing one hand of poker or a hand of blackjack, this is an example. Roulette table. I'm going to put $100 down on black or red. That's 50-50. It's actually not. There are those two little green ones there. One's the aught and the double aught, those green ones. That tips the cards to the house. The house rules. They have a 53% chance of winning just based on those two things. And you're like, well, what kind of advantage is that? Surely it couldn't make a big difference. Let's go to the next slide. The advantage is this. I don't know about any of you. I don't think I could afford 1 hour of the power bill for the Las Vegas Strip. Just consider this town is built on a small cumulative power of a little advantage. That difference, 47%. 47% of the time you will win. You're like, oh, that seems like you could never do a business model that way. Well, Vegas is a classic example. I just told you in Joe's case of triathlons, this little advantage. So that's my little preamble tonight. And I'll drop a few thoughts. And if you get a chance, I mentioned one of the things last week, which is don't just think it, ink it. If something that I say reaches out and grabs you, write it down. Please do. I have a pen and paper. I write down stuff all the time. I write down what Malcolm says. I quote Malcolm to Malcolm. I quote Ray to Ray. I quote a lot of people to themselves on this call. And it's not because I have a photographic memory. I actually just write things down. So, Adam, can we advance the slide just for a moment here? The newbies, they always wonder. I should tell you, on Wednesday nights, I'm kicked back in my office here. I'm usually more casual. John Paul Getty. This is I quoted Aristotle and Onassis last week. Here's a John Paul Getty quote. At one point, he was the richest man in America, in the world, I think. And at the end of his life, he gave an interview. I like the end of life interviews. They tend to tip their cards. And they said, what would you do differently? And he said, I'd spend more time doing great things and less time doing small things because it takes about the same amount of time to do both. I'm telling you what, people are like, it's hell to it's hell to be, if you want success, you're going to have to go through hell. But here's the thing. If you're not successful, you're going to go through hell. If you're going to go through hell, you might as well get something out of it. That's what I'm here to tell you. Like, business is tough. And I say it, It's not that tough. I actually love what I do. I'm here at night because I dig it. And I know you guys know that. I actually enjoy what I'm doing. Let's go forward one, please, Adam. Here, I mentioned this last week. I got a graphic this time. Do something enough and a ratio will begin to appear. I'm quoting Jim Rohn, who is Ray's mentor. Jim Rohn said, do something enough and a ratio will appear. If you talk to 10 people and one becomes an Oliabo distributor, you got a ratio that started. That is, talk to 10, bring one in. So naturally, if I say, how are you going to bring in 2 people? You would say, well, according to this ratio, I would talk to 20. If you want to bring in 3, talk to 30. Here's the thing. This call right here, if you commit to doing this call every week, you're going to be, by the way, you put 10 people in front of Ray, it's not a 1 in 10. It's like 2. It's like 3. Like Ray is good. He puts together sentences. Don't let his self-deprecating humor fool you. He's actually pretty good at talking to people. If you do these calls, my commitment to you is if you do these calls on a consistent basis, you'll change the ratio. You're going to get better at what you do. That ratio will no longer be 10 and 1. It will be 10 and 2 and 10 and 3. Gosh, you've met the people in life that are like 5 and 10. You've met the people we know. I know a lady, and she used to, her kids would brag and say, if you get on the elevator with my mom, if you've got more than 5 stops, she'll bring you into a business. And I was like, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, first slide. This is really the first slide, I think. Here's one rule. So easy. This is the easiest one. One rule. Call your sponsor once a week. And you're like, really? I'm spending my Wednesday night to hear this? Call your sponsor once a week. Why am I saying that? Well, I probably am saying it because I know there's people on the line statistically that aren't calling their sponsor once a week. And it doesn't count if you're logged onto the same webinar that everyone else is logged in on Tuesday, okay? Call your sponsor once a week. Talk to them about your goals. Talk to them about your ambitions. And talk to them about the problems you're trying to overcome. Why is that? And you say, why do I have to do that? Do I have to do that? No, you can be mediocre without doing that. But let me ask you this. If your sponsor does not know what your dreams and goals and aspirations are, how are they supposed to help you get there? They're not clairvoyant. Like, I know Malcolm's pretty smart. He's pretty bright. I've had some deep conversations with him. He's self-deprecating. He can quote the Bible. He can quote Signs of Getting Rich. He's pretty good, but he's not clairvoyant. Maybe you are. Actually, I don't know this about you, but call your sponsor. Tell him your dreams. Tell him your goals. Say, I'm going to make a hairy, audacious goal to be a Premio in September or whatever your goal is. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, commit to the speed of your success. This is a big one, folks. Commit. And I know a bunch of you just winced because I said commit. People don't like the word commit. They don't like it. They love, I'll try. Okay, maybe. I'll try. I'll give it a whirl. No, commit to the speed of your success. And when I say that, put a big goal down. Like if you want to go Premio, if you want to go 1K, maybe your goal is 5K, or your goal is to break 3 5Ks in your organization, 3 quintos, right? Write them down and make a commitment and put that big mouth promise out into the universe. If you put a big mouth promise into the universe, you'd be surprised how honest people will try to keep you honest. Like if you say something to your wife, like we're going to do this, she'll remind you of it. Commit to the speed of your success. And as I mentioned about people like Muhammad Ali, people came from miles to feel the heat. Why? That man was committed. Like that dude was not going into he had no idea what a loss was. In his brain, he already won every fight that he ever went into. So commit to the speed of your success. Let's go one more here, Adam. I'm gonna thank you, Adam. I'm teeing it up for you, brother. I was dropping some stuff to Adam yesterday, and something came out of his pie hole that was pretty profound. And I said, would you jump on the call tomorrow night? I haven't talked to Malcolm, but apparently he talked to you. So that's good. Here's my advice. Change your mindset. Adam's going to talk about a little something. My brother wrote a book called Positive In, and it was a book that my brother is extreme. He lives what he preaches in his book. The guy that mentored me used to say, give yourself a regular checkup from the neck up. If you've got stinking thinking, if there's something in your gray matter that is holding you back, you got to plug into this call, get around those people. Last week I said, if your 9 best friends are losers, you're about to become number 10. You get around positive mindset. It's going to change the way that you're looking at the world. Can't do all the work around here. Malcolm and I are like, we got to recruit some folks to help with the leadership call. So when people drop sound bites, and you drop one that we were talking about, hey, Ashley, would you spend a few minutes tonight on the Wednesday night and share the data dump you were doing in my office earlier today?
Of course, I would love to. Thank you, Gordon. I
Thank
just
you,
want to
Ashley.
also, how do I follow Adam? That was incredible. I'm like,
no pressure.
oh my gosh. Right? I'm like,
you got
well,
this,
should we
Ashley.
just end it? Should we just end the call now?
The end.
Mic drop after him. That was it. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, so I just want to say how grateful I am for this team, for all the leaders that are here. Malcolm, who's putting this on for us. Ray, you guys are such powerful leaders, and you are doing exactly what I'm going to talk about today, because it's powerful and it shows actual proof of how to build your team. All right. Could we? Oh, Pam. If you haven't heard Gordon say this before, I feel like it's something you say a lot. I don't know if I've ever actually said it. Pam, promote a meeting from a meeting. So some of you may be here because you were on our 2:00 call. So we promoted this meeting from that meeting. And we're going to promote another meeting from this meeting as well, which we usually do the next Wednesday call. That's what all of us are on. Curtis is going to be on another call. You know, there's so many meetings that we're having. But I just want to say, could we go back for 1 second? Because I have a little bit more to say on Pam. So a lot of leaders do this already. You don't end with goodbye. We don't end with see ya. It's, oh, I'll see you next Tuesday on, this call, or I'll see you next Tuesday for coffee. And it's you're making sure that they're aware that you're going to see them again, and it's not just going to be bye. Because how do you book your next meeting? How do you get people excited about the business when it's just goodbye? They're never going to call you, they're going to expect you to reach out to them again. So, and then on the next one, we have, oh my gosh, this is a good one. What is the most important meeting in your Olealbo business? So I just want you guys to think about it for a second. And can we go to the next slide? It is your next meeting. So this is the next meeting Gordon and I are going to do in person. This has a really huge stat on it as well. The next one, yes, you got it. 85% of attendees are more likely to make a purchase after attending a live event. That means bring a buddy to this event. If you're not bringing someone, that's a huge stat. Why would you go alone to something like this? Why would you go alone to a Zoom or an event that you're invited to and not bring someone with you? That is such an easy way for you to show the business without having to do a lot of work. It's just bringing someone. I don't want to go places alone. I'd rather bring a buddy. It's way more fun that way. They'll have more fun. Like, it's the truth. That's the reason Gordon's right there. I'm like, I'm not going home. I want a buddy here today. I mean, I didn't bring a buddy. He was already here, but that's my buddy I'm bringing.
Is that what the BAB is? Like, is this bring a buddy? It's
okay.
Good.
It is. Gordon
That's
told
way better
I
than
actually
be a bringer. Bring a buddy. That's good.
Oh my gosh, that's what it stands for. I couldn't remember. Gordon told me this.
You made your own?
I made it up because I forgot it's be a bringer. Bring a buddy. I made it into bring a buddy because he told me this, and I just wrote BAB and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't remember what this stands for. And so I was like, I'm making it up on the spot. Be a bringer or bring a buddy, whatever you want to say. I think they both work. But yes, that is my spiel for it. And I think I have one more slide coming. Oh, this picture. So early on in the company, Gordon showed me this picture. And it was kind of a concept idea of how Oliaba was going to feel, the look. And I remember Gordon showing me, and he's excited. And I was like, I look at this picture, and I'm like, this is it. I want to be there. I need to be there. I want to be outside. I
You
want that
said
fruit.
that to me that night. You're like, I want to be there.
Yes. And ever since then, this is just the beautiful artwork and ideas that Gordon has with this company, like the Primatin. This came out of his brain, and I am so grateful that I get to enjoy this company and journey with him. So this is my introduction slide to Gordon. Back to you, Gordon.
Thank you, Ashley. You're the best. Folks, that's a true story. There was that happened the way it was. It was one night we were working and I was like, what do you think of this artwork concept? And Ashley's comment was, I want to be there. And that's when I started riffing about, like, please soften the picture. Like, mentally, that's a big deal. What Malcolm is holding up, that started here, right? And it starts on these calls. It's where we work on this. It's where we by the way, thank you. Nancy points out, Nancy just sends to me that she is in Vegas. Yes, that picture I showed is where you also sent me a picture of a dog. I have to look at that later. I have ADD. So do you. Folks, Nancy's been starting a conversation. You're the best. Number 4. We are now at number 4. So technically I think Ashley was number 4 but don't worry. The counting is just so that we keep on track. Never let your upline be surprised. Guys, this is really, really, really good advice. Again, if you're calling your upline, your sponsor once a week, they won't be surprised. It's nothing. Okay, good surprises are good. Like, hey, surprise, I bought you stuff. It's never that though. I'm talking about, like, don't let your upline get surprised by, okay, this happened to me. There are people on the line that know the people I'm actually talking about, so I won't mention names, but it was like a big event, and leaders are made at functions, by the way. These functions sometimes are online, like we're doing right now. This is a function. Leaders are made of functions like this. What Ashley just talked about, promoting a meeting from a meeting, this is a meeting, okay? This was an actual physical meeting I'm talking about here. And it was one of these ones where we gather, it was a convention. I hadn't seen a couple in 6 or 8 months. And I said, hi, so-and-so. There was a reception line for a leaders dinner. Hey, where's your husband? Started crying. I was like, we got divorced. I was like, what? Had no idea. Oh my goodness. And then oh my goodness. So I'm like talking to my staff, and I'm like, did you not so-and-so got to, oh yeah, it was really messy. It was super ugly divorce. I'm like, is anybody gonna tell me? Seriously, I'm hosting this black tie dinner tonight. Some of you folks were at that black tie dinner. Nobody's on the line that this is I'm talking about. Okay, I happen to know this, but anyway, don't let your upline be surprised. Don't let them introduce you at a function and say some status that is radically changed 6 months ago. Don't let your upline be surprised. That's a very extreme example, but again, if your upline is going to help you get your goals, which is one of their things to do, it helps if you're not springing stuff on them. Okay, that's number 4. And number 5, this is the easiest one. We're going to end with an easy one again. Smile. It sounds really weird, like dumb, like, oh my gosh, this is so Zig Ziglar or whatever. My dad used to say, even people can hear a smile even on the telephone. And that's true. There are people walking around society in 2026 that look like they've been weaned on a pickle. And I don't know if any of you are running into these folks. Maybe they don't exist on that island in Philippines, or maybe they don't exist in Traverse City, Michigan. But even here in Murray, Utah, you can walk around and go to lunch and you just see people just with this sour look on their face. And I'm telling you what, nobody wants to join your energy orbit if you're all like that. Nobody wants to follow somebody with the dull, lifeless stare of a dairy cow. Okay. I was given the weirdest compliment once, and I've given it to other people before too, because I thought it was cool. Somebody goes, "You're Mr. Prozac." And I was like, huh? Do I give off like a medication vibe? And they're like, no. You walk in a room and people just kind of feel a little bit better. And I was like, that's maybe one of the nicest, weirdest compliments ever that you could give. But I thought it was nice. So smile. Like, seriously, folks. Like, I know the world can get heavy, but life's freaking amazing. Like, life is amazing. I get to work with Adam, and I get to work with Ray, and I get to work with Ashley, and like, that's pretty great. So, hey, that's it. Malcolm, you're the bomb, brother. I'm telling you, my one compliment to Malcolm that it reserves for him is this man gets up every day with the energy of a great white shark. And this is, if you can plug in to this guy's energy orbit, like, you got to plug into that. I hang out with people that are energetic. I'm a reasonably high energy guy, but I plug into that kind of energy myself because it feeds. We feed each other. I'm telling you, look out. Ray used to say sometimes, put up everything that'll break. I'll knock it down. And that's when Ray's in one of those moods, and I'm like, whatever goals are that day, he's checking them off. So, folks, I'll finish where I started off tonight, which was just gratitude for Malcolm and for putting this call for all y'all. A happy Canada Day. If there are, I think I saw a Canadian name or two come across the line there, but I was born and raised in Canada. I'm putting on my hat that Ray gave me, because now we're shifting to America's 250th birthday. So I'm trying to get I'm trying to get my American kind of look right now, shifting from Happy Canada Day to American, good old country boy American. So, hey, Malcolm, my good friend, can I throw back to you, my brother?
Yes, you can. Adam, I had a PowerPoint, but after you, I deleted it. No, I didn't delete it. I saved it for another day. We've had lots of lessons. There was a lesson on leadership, but Gordon, I was laughing when you were talking about Ali, because right before, I always clean my teeth right before I do a Zoom. And right when I was cleaning my teeth, there was one guy. My dad was the Australian bantamweight boxing champion. He's a red-headed Scotsman, and he lived Ali. And we would sit up to 2:00 in the morning as a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old and watch Ali. And I knew everything about Ali. And I was thinking about Muhammad Ali while I was cleaning my teeth right before Adam and I set this call up. And I'm going to prove something to you. Adam talked about what you think. Gordon's talking about it. And he mentioned something. Ali was a big mouth promised into the universe. So most people don't know this. Ali always said, I am the greatest, right? I won't do the impression. Before he said it because he knew it. He's not an educated guy. I'm going to prove it to you. Ali's had 4 wives. I've got to remember now. Sonia Roy. Sonia Roy was his first wife when he was very young, but before he was anything. I think he just won gold at the Olympics. Then he went into the Muslim Brotherhood, and Kahala Leela, a Muslim gal. That didn't work out. It was pretty short-lived. He was in Africa, and lo and behold, we're there for the George Foreman fight, the big rumble. Yep. Rumble in the jungle.
Rumble in the jungle, right? I think.
And someone introduced him into his sphere, the Porsche gal, Veronica Porsche. So that was that. But where am I going? When he was 6 years old in Louisville, Kentucky, and he had no money, his parents had no money, and he couldn't get a school bus. And he was 8, 9, and 10 years old, parents couldn't afford a school bus. He used to take his shoes off. He didn't have socks, and he'd run along the sidewalk running beside the school bus, because there was a gal. Her name was Yolanda. Lonnie, he called her. Yolanda. 6 years old, he had his heart set on this gal. And he ran along beside that bus going, I'm going to marry you. And everybody was like this. She was so embarrassed about it. He never gave up on that. Because who was his last wife for all the last years, and then all the years when he was suffering and his Parkinson's and dementia and everything? Yolanda. And now she's she's looks after that whole foundation. A big mouth promise into the universe. So what you think, you create. So rather than wrap this up right now, Pam Fam, tonight, Thursday, all you Aussies, the same link, 7:30, the whole east coast of Australia. Anyone on the call? You got people in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Philippines. Singapore, Philippines, it'd be 5:30 at 7:30. I do them Monday through Thursday, 4 nights a week. Sunday night, Ray and I do a big call. Same link, same time, 8 p.m. But you know what? There's some giant food on this call. So Dwayne, I know you, I keep seeing you shooting your camera up through your sunroof. Is that to get us to dream? Dwayne, if you want to unmute, and Ray, if you'd like to unmute, how about either of you guys or both of you roll it? There's too much wisdom here not to share it. How about you guys go ahead?
Well, Dwayne's driving down the highway. I'm gonna let him get his equipment adjusted. Folks, this has been a phenomenal Zoom. I'll tell you what, Adam, you've sponsored me all over. If you ever decide you'd like to be out in the field, I would be honored to be your personal sponsor.
Stop, Ray. Stop talking, Ray.
Hey, listen, he's just where he needs to be. And I thoroughly enjoyed that story. I mean, all of us, we do have our stories, I'm going to be real short tonight. You'll find that amazing. The man himself, Mr. Jim Rohn, told me 41 years ago, he says, I'm going to give you, Ray, the secret to success and failure. He said that once you've made a decision what you want to do, of course, he was big on this industry. Once you've made a decision on what you want to do, he said, here's the secret to success. Do all that you're capable of doing. He said, that's it. And he said, the secret for failure is simply doing less than you're capable of doing. He said to me, a mano to a mano, he said, human beings are capable of the most incredible things. They just don't know it. I gave you the recipe for success. Go and do all that you're capable of doing. Anything less than that, you'll fail. That's Mr. Jim Rohn. So I'll pass that on for what it's worth to everybody. Gordon, I could listen to you forever, and I have been. It seems like half my life, and I always enjoy it.
Brother, you can take a load off every once in a while. I've listened. You're so good. I'm like, this is a hat you sent me. What was one night we were rapping, and you're like, I'm sending you a hat. I wear a baseball hat a lot. But you're the best. I appreciate you. By the way, that was a Jim Rohnism I had not heard, and I thought I heard most of them. So thank you, brother.
Thank you. That was given to me personally. I never forgot it, and I didn't have a choice, folks. Back 41 years ago, my goal was just so my kids could have a better life than I had experienced, and so I did. I did all that I was capable of doing. I wasn't capable of a whole lot, but whatever it was, I gave it my all, and it's been my recipe given to me by the man for success for 41 years in this industry. So, hey, just know that if you do all that you're capable of doing, we're capable of doing a whole lot, all of us. And most of the time, we'll settle for doing less than that. Dwayne, are you there, brother?
Guys, what an amazing call. Talk about gold nuggets being dropped all over the place. Holy cow. Beautiful call. Amazing. And Ray, I want to echo what Adam, I'm about ready to type you a message that says, way to go, brother. That was fantastic. I think we should encapsulate that as its own story and get these nuggets out there. And Gordon, this is a great call. Having these nuggets, food for, meat for leaders, meat for giants, whatever you call it. This is amazing. Well, and Malcolm, we hadn't formally met before this, so this is, I'm driving along here at 85 miles an hour. Literally, I'm going 85 miles an hour right down the freeway here, and I'm passing this big lavender farm that some of you might know, but anyway, down in Mona, Utah, as we drive through. But let me just say this: You know, Ray's a car guy, and I love it. Gordon's a car guy, loves. I mean, he bought an Audi R8 one time, and I was just drooling over it. And Joe, you know, had a Ferrari. I think it was a black Ferrari in his garage. Car guy. And you know, I'm sitting right now on a big old catalytic converter underneath this car, and the history of the cat converter is really fascinating to me. It, you know, some French chemist, it's always the French, you know, some French chemist was tasked with stopping pollution coming out of this big tower, and it was, they call them cats. And so that's, you know, he came up with some precious metals all out of platinum. It had palladium and rhodium and platinum. And you know, these precious metals, he figured out he put them together and it would stop the pollution from, it would neutralize it from going up these big cats. And so they called them catalytic converters, converting poison to good, to goodness, to good, to clean air. And I'm thinking, you know, as I'm driving down the freeway here, 85 miles an hour, listening to just this beautiful clean air coming out of this is the mission that all of us have. All of us take in poison every day. You know, being leaders in the industry, it's blah, 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 poison, poison, poison. The olive oil is olive oil, la, la, la. But our job is to take that pollution, filter it, and make it clean air. And we do that by having that beautiful platinum that's within us. So we're the catalytic converters of the organization. That's what we do. We take bad pollution and we make it a beautiful, clean air that people can breathe, and not just breathe, but thrive and live and have a better life. And that's what we do. So, you know, I'm sitting here 85. Well, now I'm only doing 78 because I took my pedal off, you know, I'm having a hard time, I guess, driving 85 and talking at the same time. But, you know, that's what we do. We become the catalytic converters of the industry. And what a beautiful industry this is. Gordon, you know, he had me at the whole olive oil story. He had me at the olive leaf and the branch. And he had me at the Garden of Gethsemane. And he had me because I hadn't really thought about that, and really finding something that was different about it. And, you know, and then the fact that, you know, Ray, he's so good at just pumping you up and making you feel better than what you really are. That's his gift, is he can edify and uplift and motivate. And just so proud to be associated with this team. This is it, guys. This is our final home. This is what we're going to do. So this is exciting, and I'm looking forward to a trip someday. Malcolm, I'm going to find you in the Philippines and find that little island you're on, because part of my heart has always been in the Philippines. And I think it's because we're trying to raise a standard of living, and we've done it in the past. You know, my daughter today, and I'll wrap this up, that, you know, she said, Dad, she goes, I was all excited to go into the office today, and I was so excited. And then there was this one girl that just sucked the life out of me. She just blah, blah, blah. She just pulled me down and pulled me down and pulled me down with all her personal problems. And she goes, I don't know how to handle her. What would you recommend? And I said, well, first of all, tell her to go get, or you buy her a gratitude journal, and you have her wake up in the morning and write 3 things that she's grateful for, and then have her in the evening write 1 thing that she's grateful for before she goes to bed. I go, if that doesn't work, you buy her an airline ticket to the Philippines, and you have her go live in the Philippines for 2 weeks, and she'll come back and she'll kiss the ground, and she'll be appreciative of of her standard of living here in the U.S. and what it's like. And I'm thinking, you know, got to stop the stinking thinking. I love that. And so, by golly, we're sitting on these big cats. We're going to be the catalytic converter of the industry. We're going to do it, guys. So thanks for having me on the call. I appreciate it. Thanks, Malcolm.
Boy, that was great,
Awesome.
Dwayne. Malcolm, why don't you take us home? Folks, I learned a new phrase working with Malcolm. I love Malcolm. He's so full of energy all the time. And Malcolm is chocker block. That's the phrase. Chocker block full of talent, and he always has some amazing things to say. I love you, brother. I appreciate you, and everybody. Ashley, I forgot to mention you. You know we all love you, girl. You did a great job tonight, and just a great call. Take it away, brother.
Ashley's our testimony, folks. You want to
That's
know
right.
how it works? There you go. Just put up a picture of Ashley. Dwayne, gratitude. Wake up every single morning, be thankful, It's none of this almighty God stuff. Hey, thanks a lot for whatever you want, gratitude. And, God, we love you. I was going to give you a lesson on ownership. I just want you to know the owners of this company, plus the people on it, they love you. And you know how much God loves you? Because he wakes up every day, because he never sleeps, because he's grateful to have us. We're his greatest creation. So just think that one through. See you guys. Let me see. See you guys tonight in Aussie, Singapore, Philippines. See you guys Sunday night. Same link. And then see you also for the corporate Wednesday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then this same thing again, same time, same place. Maybe we'll be switching it over to the Oliabo platform pretty quick here. Let's see how that thing. And Adam, thank you, man. Thank you very much.